Did you know you could be losing muscle without realizing it, even if you feel fine? Sometimes we think feeling more tired is just normal as we get older, that having less strength to climb stairs or get up from the couch is simply getting old. But what many don't know is that behind that gradually appearing weakness, there is a silent condition affecting millions of older adults: sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the natural loss of muscle mass that occurs with age. It starts almost invisibly, but its consequences are profound. Over time, walking becomes harder. Carrying grocery bags becomes a challenge. Falls become more frequent. And the most painful part, independence is lost. You stop being yourself. But here comes the important part. This is not inevitable. You are not doomed to get weaker every day. In fact, there is something very powerful you can do, and it starts on your plate. The good news is that there are foods that can help you slow down this muscle loss and even regain it. Simple foods you probably already know, but might not be using to their full potential. Today, I will share with you the 7 foods that doctors most recommend to fight sarcopenia. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated diets, just small but smart choices. Because your body can still get stronger, and it's never too late to start. Before continuing, I want to get to know you a bit more. How old are you, and where are you listening from? I'll read your answers in the comments. Martha is 74 years old. Throughout her life, she was an active, independent woman, always taking care of her home, her plants, and her grandchildren. But a few months ago, something changed. One day, she wanted to open a jar of jam and couldn't. She tried several times until she gave up. Another day, when getting up from the couch, she noticed her legs were trembling. She felt slower, more fragile, more dependent. She thought it was normal. "I'm old," she told herself. But in reality, what she was experiencing had a name: sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass that happens over the years. It is a natural part of aging, yes, but if ignored, it advances much faster and its effects become dangerous. From the age of 60, the body begins to lose between 3 and 8% of muscle mass every decade. And if you do nothing to stop it, that loss speeds up. Strength is not lost all at once. It fades little by little, like water dripping from a faucet unnoticed. Until one day you realize climbing stairs is a challenge, you get tired walking, and you can no longer carry grocery bags without stopping to rest. But age is not the only cause. There are other factors that worsen this muscle loss. Sedentary lifestyle, meaning spending many hours sitting still. Poor nutrition, especially when you don't consume enough protein. And loneliness, which also plays an important role. Because when one feels alone, they lose the motivation to take care of themselves, to cook, to move. The most dangerous thing about sarcopenia is that many people normalize it. They believe there is nothing to do. But the truth is that there are ways to prevent it, and in many cases, reverse it. And the first step starts with recognizing that the strength you have today is not the same as before. Now I want you to stop for a second and think about yourself. Have you felt weaker than before? Is it harder to do things you used to do without thinking? If your answer is yes, you are not alone. And the most important thing, you are not lost. Because today, you will discover how your diet can help you regain strength, vitality, and confidence. There is one food as simple as it is powerful. It is in most homes, affordable, easy to prepare, and has nutritional value many underestimate: the egg. Doctors consider it one of the best allies against sarcopenia because it contains complete proteins. This means it provides all the essential amino acids the body needs to build and repair muscle tissue. And not only that, it is also rich in vitamin D, vitamin B12, and choline, key nutrients to maintain muscle strength and proper function. As we age, our bodies no longer use proteins as efficiently as before. That's why it is essential to consume foods that provide high-quality protein, like eggs, which are also easy to digest and incorporate into different meals throughout the day. Mr. Manuel is 81 years old. He has lived alone since his wife passed away, and for a while, he felt weak, with no desire to move. He walked with a cane avoided leaving the house, and spent more and more time in his armchair. One day, his granddaughter, who studies nutrition, told him about the importance of eggs. She explained how they could help him regain strength, especially if he ate them regularly. Since then, Mr. Manuel started including 2 eggs a day in his diet, sometimes boiled, other times in an omelette, or scrambled with spinach and a bit of olive oil. In less than 3 months, he noticed his legs were firmer. He dared to walk to the park without his cane. He watered his plants again, and most importantly, he regained confidence in his body. Many doctors recommend eating 1 to 2 eggs daily, depending on your overall health and cholesterol levels. The key is to prepare them simply, boiled, poached, or in an omelette, without excess fat or salt. You don't need to fry them in oil to benefit. And if you've ever been told eggs are bad for cholesterol, it's important to know that science has nuanced this idea. For most healthy older adults, eggs are not only safe, but beneficial. So next time you think about what to have for breakfast, remember this. A simple egg can help you regain strength, vitality, and control over your body. Sometimes, the solution is in the simplest things. The second food I want to talk about is one you've probably eaten all your life, but maybe didn't know was so valuable for your muscles: legumes. Lentils, chickpeas, and beans are not only tasty and affordable, they are also some of the best plant sources of protein. And best of all, they come with iron, magnesium, potassium, and a great amount of fiber, which not only feeds your muscles, but also your digestive system. Many think only meat or eggs provide protein, but legumes, although plant-based, have a nutritional profile that helps maintain and build muscle mass, especially when combined with other foods like rice or whole grains. They also help regulate blood sugar, which protects muscle and overall body health. Elisa is 78 years old and lives in a small town. For a long time, she avoided cooking because she said she got very tired. But after a doctor's visit, where she learned about sarcopenia and how to fight it with nutrition, she decided to change her routine. She started with something simple, making lentil soup 3 times a week. She added a bit of carrot, onion, a clove of garlic, and a bay leaf. Over time, she noticed she felt less fatigued climbing stairs. One afternoon, while watering her garden, she realized her legs didn't tremble like before. She regained strength without noticing, just by making a change in her kitchen. Legumes have another advantage. They help intestinal transit. And in old age, maintaining good digestion also contributes to muscle well-being because the body can absorb nutrients better. To cook them without losing their properties, it is important to soak them for at least 8 hours before cooking. This reduces anti-nutrients that hinder iron absorption and improves digestibility. You can also cook them with a piece of kombu seaweed if you have access to it, as it helps soften them without losing minerals. Avoid overcooking or adding vinegar or lemon during cooking, as they can reduce iron availability. Better add them after, when serving. Legumes are not just a humble meal. They are a powerful tool to maintain your independence, strength, and dignity. They are within your reach and can make a big difference. You just need to give them the place they deserve on your plate. The third food doctors strongly recommend to fight sarcopenia is oily fish. You might know it better by its more common names: salmon, sardines, tuna, mackerel, or anchovies. They all share a characteristic that makes them especially valuable: their high content of healthy fats, known as omega-3, and their richness in high-quality proteins. Omega-3 is not only good for the heart, as often said, it also has a direct impact on muscles, joints, and the brain. It helps reduce body inflammation, a silent inflammation that accumulates with age and, in many people, accelerates muscle mass loss unnoticed. Think of muscle as a strong, well-maintained rope. When there is constant inflammation, that rope begins to weaken and wear out. Omega-3 acts as a protector, a natural lubricant that takes care of that rope so it doesn't break. Additionally, oily fish provides vitamin D, which is also key for muscle strength and bone health, and vitamin B12, which helps the nervous system and energy production. And although many people believe oily fish is expensive or hard to find, there are options for every budget. Canned sardines, for example, are an affordable and practical source of omega-3. Canned tuna can also be useful as long as it is chosen in water or olive oil. Even anchovies, if cooked in the oven or grilled, provide great benefits without complications. The important thing is to include this type of fish at least 2 or 3 times a week. It can be in a salad, with steamed vegetables, in an omelette, or even mixed with brown rice. You don't need complicated recipes to benefit from it. Many people who start consuming oily fish regularly notice they sleep better, feel less knee pain, and have more energy upon waking. And it's no coincidence. Because when you give your body what it needs, it responds. It's not just about eating to fill up, it's about eating to get stronger. And in that journey, oily fish is a true ally. There are foods that not only nourish the body, but also comfort the soul. One of them is natural yogurt and its close cousin, kefir. They are gentle foods, easy to digest, and deeply beneficial for older adults, especially when it comes to caring for muscles and bones. Natural yogurt is an excellent source of calcium, essential to maintain strong bone structure. But what many people don't know is that it also provides high-quality proteins necessary to prevent muscle loss and probiotics that care for intestinal health and improve nutrient absorption. Kefir, on the other hand, has a greater variety of live cultures and is usually easier to digest for those sensitive to dairy. Both products are powerful allies for those looking to gain strength, sleep better, and stay active without resorting to costly supplements. Robert is 77 years old. At one point in his life, he began to feel his body was shutting down. He slept poorly, woke up with back pain, and gradually stopped walking in the mornings. At a medical consultation, he was told something as simple as including yogurt in his nightly routine. He started having a light dinner, a whole grain toast, some almonds, and a bowl of natural yogurt with a tablespoon of seeds. At first, he didn't believe it would make a difference, but in a few weeks, he noticed he slept more deeply, woke up with more energy, and his muscles didn't hurt as before. It was as if his body was grateful. The secret is not just consuming yogurt, but choosing the right kind. Many supermarket products are full of sugar, artificial flavors, and additives that reduce their benefits. The ideal is to look for natural yogurts without added sugar that say live cultures or active ferment on the label. Those are the ones that really provide probiotics that strengthen the gut flora and help the body better absorb calcium and protein. You can also make kefir at home if you want to try. You only need the cultures, milk, and a bit of patience. What you get is a living food that strengthens your digestion and immune system while helping you maintain muscle strength. Including a natural yogurt or a glass of kefir a day is a simple, pleasant, and effective way to nourish your body from within, especially if you do it at night when the body enters repair mode. Feeding your rest well is also part of aging strongly. When we talk about foods that strengthen the body in old age, there is one that often goes unnoticed, even though it is very close to you: nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, or flax seeds are not just tasty additions. They are true nutritional gems. They are full of good fats, plant proteins, fiber, antioxidants, and essential minerals like magnesium, potassium, and zinc. All that in one handful. The most interesting thing is that, unlike other energy foods, nuts do not cause a sharp rise in blood sugar. That makes them a perfect ally for older adults, especially those who need to maintain steady energy, protect their muscles, and care for metabolic health. These little sources of life help preserve muscle mass in various ways. On one hand, they provide protein, which, although plant-based, helps slow muscle loss. On the other, their healthy fats help reduce body inflammation, a key factor in fighting sarcopenia. Many doctors recommend including them as part of daily snacks, between meals. You don't need to complicate things. You can prepare a simple mix in a jar: a handful of almonds, a few broken walnuts, chia seeds, and if you like, some unsweetened dried blueberries. Keep it in the kitchen handy, and whenever you feel hungry or tired, take a small portion. This mix not only provides energy, but also satiety. It's ideal for those who want to strengthen their bodies without resorting to processed products or added sugars. That said, it's important to keep one detail in mind. Nuts and seeds are very calorie-dense. Eating too many can be counterproductive, especially if you want to maintain a healthy weight. The general recommendation is to consume a small portion a day, equivalent to a closed handful, no more. It is also preferable to choose them natural, without salt or frying. Roasted versions without added oil are also valid, as long as they don't contain extra ingredients that reduce their benefits. Sometimes the smallest things hold great power. In these seeds and nuts hides the energy your body needs to move safely, maintain balance, and keep that autonomy so valuable with age. Giving strength to your body doesn't always mean eating more, but eating better. And in this case, more natural, simpler, wiser. In many homes, the aroma of homemade broth brings memories of family, warmth, and care. And it's no coincidence. There is something deeply nourishing in those preparations cooked slowly, with time and love. Today I want to talk to you about one of the wisest foods to preserve muscle strength in old age: chicken and turkey, the so-called white meats. Both chicken and turkey are lean sources of high-quality protein. This means they provide all the essential amino acids the body needs, but with less saturated fat than other meats. That's why doctors especially recommend them to older adults who want to maintain or recover their muscle mass without overloading the heart or liver. But besides their nutritional value, these meats have a practical advantage. They are versatile and easy to chew if cooked well. You can incorporate them in gentle stews, nourishing soups, tender roasts, or steamed preparations. The key is to cook them slowly, with broth and vegetables, so they don't become dry or tough. Mrs. Sylvia is 83 years old. She lives with her younger sister and for years has prepared a special broth every Monday. She uses a piece of bone-in chicken, carrot, celery, onion, garlic, and a sprig of parsley. She lets it simmer on low heat for 2 hours. Then she strains it and stores it in portions for the week. Sometimes she adds brown rice or oats, other times a few drops of lemon and a bit of turmeric. She says that since she started drinking that broth every night, she feels less stiff when waking up. Her hands hurt less, she has more energy, and above all, she feels her body supports her more firmly. She doesn't take supplements or shakes, she just trusts her cooking. And there is a reason for that. When you cook chicken or turkey with bone, the water extracts collagen, natural gelatin, minerals like calcium, phosphorus and magnesium, and other compounds that help keep joints and muscles in good condition. It's a simple way to give the body back what it loses over the years. You don't need fancy recipes. A bone broth, a piece of shredded breast, some fresh vegetables, and a pinch of spices can be a perfect dinner. Light, nutritious, and comforting. Because in old age, more than ever, food must be medicine. And a hot plate of chicken or turkey might be just what your muscles are silently asking for. Listen to them, and give them what they need. There are foods that don't catch attention for their shape or strong flavor, but that hold a silent, almost invisible power. Leafy green vegetables, like spinach, Swiss chard, or kale, are those silent allies working in your body quietly, but with profound results. These vegetables are rich in magnesium, iron, calcium, potassium, and natural antioxidants. All of them are key nutrients for proper muscle function. Magnesium, for example, helps muscle fibers contract and relax correctly. Iron transports the oxygen muscles need to move. And antioxidants reduce cellular damage that occurs with time and constant exposure to inflammation. Also, these green leaves not only provide nutrients, but also help improve the absorption of other important minerals you consume throughout the day. If you combine them with vitamin C, by adding a few drops of lemon or eating them alongside an orange, their effect is even stronger. There is a simple way to include them in your daily routine without too much trouble. A good option is at breakfast. Many older adults feel they no longer have much appetite for breakfast, but a warm, easy-to-digest, nutritious dish can make a big difference. For example, scramble 2 eggs with a handful of fresh spinach in a pan with a little olive oil. You can add a pinch of turmeric and some sesame seeds on top. Serve it with a slice of whole grain bread and a hot infusion. It's a breakfast that nourishes, strengthens, and comforts. The important thing when cooking these vegetables is not to expose them to excessive heat or long cooking times. If you boil them too long, they lose much of their vitamins. Ideally, sauté them lightly, steam them, or just add them raw to salads if your digestion allows it. You can also add them to soups at the end of cooking, right before serving. Throughout life, many people stop eating green, maybe out of habit, lack of ideas, or because they think it's no longer necessary. But precisely in old age, when muscles begin to weaken, these green leaves become more important than ever. They are light, yes, but they have a silent strength that can support you, nourish you, and help you stay steady on your feet. Do not underestimate what a simple spinach leaf can do for you. Sometimes, the humblest things are also the wisest. Throughout this journey, we have discovered together 7 foods that can make a difference in your life. They are not miracle products or secret recipes. They are simple, real foods that you probably already know, but today, you have rediscovered under a new light. First, we talked about eggs, that complete protein source that can help you rebuild muscle from the very first bite. Then, we explored legumes, humble, nutritious, full of iron and fiber that strengthen from within. Next, we dived into the world of oily fish, with its healthy fats and its ability to reduce the inflammation that does so much damage over the years. We learned about the value of natural yogurt and kefir, not only for their calcium and protein, but for the probiotics that care for your digestion and rest. We spoke of nuts and seeds, small but powerful, that provide energy without harming your health. We remembered white meats like chicken and turkey, easy to prepare and fundamental for firm and functional muscles. And finally, we honored leafy green vegetables, discreet but full of life, that nourish not only your muscles, but also your blood, bones, and heart. 7 allies, 7 paths you can follow one by one, without rush, but without pause. Because you don't have to live weak. Your body can still get stronger, no matter your age. It doesn't matter if you are 60, 70, 80 or more. Strength is not measured only in muscles, but also in willpower. And if you are here listening to this, you have already taken the first step. Now, nutrition is only part of the equation. To truly fight sarcopenia, you need to move, a little every day. Walk around the house, stretch your arms, get up from your chair without support, use your own body as a tool. It's not about exercising like a young person, but staying active like a wise one.
And now I invite you to share with me. Which of these foods do you eat most often? Is there any you would add to the list?
I would love to read you and make this space a place to learn together.
Before we go, I want you to take away more than just a list of foods. I want you to take away an idea.
Aging does not mean giving up. It means choosing better. And every choice on your plate can bring you closer to a stronger, freer, and fuller life. Thank you for staying until the end. Take care, nourish yourself, and above all, never stop believing in what you can still build, even today.